Welcome back to Fisher Football Focus, your weekly look into the Cardinal football program. I'm Jacob Rodriguez, and the Cardinals are coming off of a dominant offensive showing in a 35-21 win over the Hartwick Hawks. If you didn't watch the game, you're going to want to see this. Let's get to the highlights. Fisher traveled to Hartwick College over the weekend to take on the Hartwick Hawks. Fisher came into the week at 4-1 and looked to extend their win streak to 3 games. Hartwick has something going early, and Dennis Riordan finds Haven Marasio across the middle. Fisher with the chance to respond. Big gain on a slick play design for Ethan Curtis. 23-yard pickup. Few plays later, Lister tucks it and barrels into the end zone, tied at 7. The Cardinals would force Hartwick to punt after a big stop on 3rd and long, and then wasting no time on a screen pass to Camden Chance, who did what he does best, running in space all the way to the house for 6. Fisher leads 14-7. Riordan and the Hawks pick up a couple chunk plays to get into the red zone. The lefty QB, Braden Moreau, checks in just to drop this pass in the bucket to Nicholas Massaregli that tied it at 14. In the third, now the Cardinals didn't score on this drive, but this throw by Lister rolling out to his right had 50 yards to carry on this connection to Brantley, one of Lister's 4 plays of over 50 yards this game. Now, if that last throw didn't show you that Mason Lister is the real deal, how about throwing 58 yards rolling out to your left against your momentum? Just unreal stuff on the connection to Brantley. Lister put a bow on this drive as he dumped it off to Nate McGoldrick in the flat, who found the end zone. 21-14 Cardinals. The Hawks were relentless, though. Riordan hits Miles Perry on the slant to tie it yet again. But mama, there goes that man again. Camden Chance breaks some ankles and some tackles on his way to his 2nd touchdown of the game to put the Cards up in the 4th. The defense picked up the intensity in this quarter when they most needed it. Kyle DeMore read this perfectly and jumped the route for the interception. And Lister puts this one to bed as he finds Brantley in the end zone for his 4th touchdown pass of the game and 5th touchdown overall. Fisher improved to 5-1 on the season, extending their winning streak to 3 games as they defeated the Hartwick Hawks 35-21, the final. Let's kick it to the interviews. Joining us now for another episode of Fisher Football Focus is head coach Ed Raby. Coach, welcome back and congrats on the win.
Thanks for having me again.
So Hartwick played you tough for the first 3 quarters, but your team was able to pull away late with 2 unanswered touchdown drives in the 4th quarter. What does it say about this group's ability to deliver in pressure moments?
Well, I think we're a pretty resilient team. After the game, we talked about we're a team that's battle-tested. We've been in a lot of close games. I don't think there was any – the best part about that situation on Saturday was there was no panic. Everyone had 100% confidence that we were going to come out on top. So I think that leads to some poise. We've shown poise in those moments. And I think the fact that it wasn't the first game that we've been in a tight battle helped us for sure. We've been in a lot of tight games. So our guys know how to handle those situations.
And since Mason Lister stepped in for Ryan Whitney back in week 3, he's been exceptionally consistent. He hasn't turned the ball over once, and he just had a 5-touchdown performance. How has his play influenced the team's confidence and your overall momentum this season?
Absolutely. I think he's played outstanding. Obviously, it's funny because we always feel like we could get better, right? I think you look at the film and say, man, we missed this, we missed that. We even had a few drops, so his completion percentage could have been even higher. I think with Mason, the big thing is I think everyone has a lot of confidence in him. He's got a lot of poise. He does a great job bringing energy to practice and energy to the situation. So there's a lot of confidence in his ability, and the guys kind of rally around him. And if you have a good quarterback, you always have a chance in any game, and that's really helped us a lot. And we've got several good quarterbacks.
And this game really showcased the firepower of your offense. You had multiple receivers, including a running back, all making explosive plays. You had 4 plays as a team over 50 yards.
Yep. And
a mix of touchdowns on the ground and in the air. Guys like Jalen Brantley, Camden Chance, and even Nate McGoldrick. What do you think that says about this team's versatility and the way that Mason is spreading the ball around?
Yeah, I've always felt that going into the season that we had a lot of weapons on offense. And obviously up front, I think our guys on offensive line have done a great job protecting the quarterback, and we've been one of the top teams in running the ball as well. But you really have multiple weapons, whether it's tight end, receiver, running back, and Cam Chance had one of his best games, kind of stepped up. And so I think when you're balanced on offense, run, pass, and who you're distributing the ball to, it makes it very hard for the defense to key out one thing.
Do you think that because Mason is getting his first career starts this season and he's kind of learning along the way, do you think that he's still getting better and we have yet to see the best Mason Lister?
I 100% believe that Mason Lister can still get better, and that's the cool part for him and for us. You watch the film, you're like, wow, we missed some throws, we missed some opportunities. He can still get better. So I think it's bodes well for the future. I think we're really excited about it.
What made Hartwick's offense, tough to contain for the first 3 quarters? And what adjustment did you and your defense have to make in the fourth to come away with the win?
Yeah, I think in the fourth quarter, it was about getting back to basics. We talked about playing our base defense, getting off blocks, running to the ball, and making tackles. They're a very well-coached team. Coach Elmore, Coach Rogers on offense, they do a great job, and they know me very well, and they've got some talented players on offense, and they were ready to play. We knew they'd be ready to play. We were not surprised that Hartwick was ready to play and play a great game. I think for us on defense, it was really just about settling in, having better eye discipline in the fourth quarter, and executing on things like how do we handle play action and getting to the ball with more bodies and tackling better.
What can a bye week, now that you're coming up on that, do for a team, and how can you ensure that the guys will avoid complacency coming off the long rest against a good team in SUNY Cortland?
Well, I think we'll avoid complacency. I'm not worried about that. Our captains and our leaders have been doing a great job with that, and our coaches will do a great job with that. Bye weeks are always important. We'll obviously get some more reps for the young guys and guys that we're developing, but we're still going to have a work week and get ready and get a little bit of a head start for Cortland, try to get some guys healthy. We are banged up a little bit at certain positions, but the bye week kind of allows us to get healthy. So it has to be a productive week of work. And again, I think with a big game coming up after that, I'm not too concerned about complacency. Our guys will be working their tails off.
With you being on a bye week and SUNY Cortland playing this week, does that give you any advantage that you get to get some fresh film while you guys have all the time in the world to really dive deep and get a game plan?
I don't know if it's an advantage. I think you play the game in front of you, whatever the situation is. I think when you have a bye week, we can get a little bit healthier, but sometimes coming off a bye week, you're not used to that competition. Cortland will be coming off a game. So I don't know if it gives any team a particular edge. Plus, Cortland is the defending champs. They haven't lost an Empire A game in who knows how long. So I think they'll be ready to play, and we have to play our best football game.
Coach, thanks for taking the time today for another episode. Enjoy the bye week, and best of luck against SUNY Cortland on the other side of it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Joining us again on Fisher Football Focus is quarterback Mason Lister. Mason, welcome back to the studio.
Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
So you had a 5-touchdown performance with no turnovers in Saturday's win. You stepped in back in week 3, and you haven't looked back. Did you always know you had this in you? And do you think that we've even seen the best version of Mason Lister yet?
I like to believe that I've always had it in me. I'm an athlete. I try and make stuff happen, but I mean that's just a testimony to our team as a whole. Like all those stats reflect back on me, I guess. But at the same time, like Cam Chance threw him 2 passes for maybe 1 yard, and then he turns it into 150. So offensive line is working their tail off. They've had a great season. Wideouts, I mean, there's no one I can look at. They're all doing their thing. So I mean, it's just the full offense. Goes to the coaching as well. We're drawing up great schemes every week. So I mean, it's exciting, man. It's exciting to be able to go into a game feeling prepared. And those stats might reflect on me, but that is definitely the whole team, for sure.
And we saw, specifically about you, we saw a couple wild throws that you can't really attribute to anybody else. You can't pass it off. You can't be humble about this. You made one out to your right, out to your left. Where does that confidence come from, and how were you able to so easily dissect the Hartwick defense?
Well, one thing I take pride in is my arm. I might not be the smartest quarterback in Empire or football in general, but I like to be able to make plays when maybe the play was dead or I got to make something happen. It goes back to teaching. I put a lot of work in, so to be able to show it off and get some recollection for it is definitely nice. I mean, I'm just doing my thing out there. One thing I pride myself in is 100% effort. I'm always going to give effort. So, I mean, I feel like if everyone has that mentality, then we're going to be pretty successful.
What makes this Cardinal offense so hard to contain? You said you have so many different options to go to. How important is that, and how does it make you so hard to stop?
Yeah, I mean, you can't key focus one player on our team. I mean, you can't, because as soon as you do that, then the other one's going to do their thing, and then vice versa. And once again, that's all going to go back to our offensive coordinator. I mean, every single week he's drawing up plays that I'm like, wow. Like after we ran, I think it was the last touchdown of the game against Hartwick, even before that play, I was like, I mean, this is a pretty easy decision. So, I mean, he just puts the defense in a pickle at all times. So just to be able to make the right reads and give it to any player on the field, it doesn't really matter which one, they're going to go make a play. So it's nice for sure.
And you guys are sitting at 5-1 now and playing really confident football. What's the belief like in this locker room?
We're high, man. We're excited. and to have a bye week heading into one of the more important games of the season at the point we're at right now is huge for us. So, we're excited to see what we can do and hopefully, put this campus on watch for sure.
Yeah, speaking of Cortland, they're currently on a 29-game Empire 8 win streak dating back to 2019. What's the game plan to snap that streak and secure the first winning season here since 2016?
There's no question they're a great football team. They always have been. I mean, just maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I can't even remember, but they won the whole thing. So, they've had a coaching change. We've had a coaching change. So it's 2 different teams. I can say that. But, it's personal for our staff. We got a couple Cortland alums there. So they're excited to scheme up a nice plan, and we're excited to go execute that plan. So I just think if we just keep following what we're doing and working hard and stacking the days, I think it'll be a great game.
Mason, thanks for joining us again on the show, taking the time, and enjoy the rest in the bye week.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Joining us now on Fisher Football Focus is running back Camden Chance. Camden,
how's it going?
Good, man. How's it going?
Good.
All right, first off, just tell us a little about yourself, where you're from, what's your major, and what do you want to do when you graduate?
My name's Camden, obviously. I'm from a small town called Clyde, Savannah. We graduated like 45 people, something like that. Out of high school, I went to Oswego College before here. Played 2 years of basketball, found a lot of success there, but then found I got tired of the sport, wanted to keep playing football, should have out of high school. So I searched around. Fisher looked like a great place to go, so I came here. I love it.
Before we get into the career game that you had on Saturday, how have you seen the culture shift from last year to this year, and how much do you think that winning plays into that?
The culture has shifted a lot, completely. It did a full 180. Last year, we were separated, like offense and defense, like from locker rooms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Had a little bit of feud on the field sometimes, and now everyone's a family, 100%. Our winning plays the biggest role in that, I feel. Once someone sees success, they really buy into it, and it just keeps going from there.
So against the Hawks, you had 170 yards from scrimmage, an 80-yard reception, and 2 total touchdowns. First, just tell us how you and your offense were able to exploit the Hawks' defense seemingly at will. And then secondly, what's been going right for you personally so far this season?
So we knew that the flats were going to be open. Swing passes were going to be there from me and Deontay out of the backfield.
Yep.
So we went right to it as soon as I got in, and we found success. So I think we ran it like 2 or 3 more times.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up breaking another one.
Yep.
And just, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah. What about your personal success? How much does that mean to you, especially coming from losing passion in the sport of basketball, transferring to Fisher, coming here and playing football? Didn't have a great year last year for the team as a whole, but now you this year and the team are having both tremendous success. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I have a lot of confidence in it being my second year here, and I think that the more I play, the better I get. And Deontay Hall, he helps out a lot with it. Yeah.
How important is that you and Deontay Hall give defenses different looks, that you have a great relationship, and what do you think that does for your offense?
I think it's really big. It's hard to scheme against us. I mean, don't know who's gonna have a big game. Just like Lister was saying, our receivers, we have all them.
Yep.
So with it being me and Deontay, we could really it's just really hard for them to scheme against us.
Yeah. How does a bye week affect a team going into one, and how do you think you and the guys are approaching it?
I think we're approaching it really well. Bye weeks are really, really big for teams. I think we need one right now. It's middle of the season. I think this is the perfect time. We're approaching it as if we have a game. We're not changing anything. We're preparing for Cortland the whole time. I think it's going to help us out a lot.
Speaking of Cortland, they're on a 29-game Empire 8 win streak dating all the way back to 2019. What's the game plan to snap that streak and secure the first winning season here since 2016?
Yeah, Cortland's a great team. We played them last year. Wasn't a good game. I think we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. We're very confident. We're doing really, really well. I think if we keep doing what we're doing and buy in to what Coach has to offer for us, then we're going to be successful.
Camden, thanks for coming down to the studio and taking the time today to join us on Fisher Football Focus.
Thank you for having me.
That'll wrap up this week's episode of Fisher Football Focus. I hope you've enjoyed, and let us know who you want to hear from in future episodes. I'm Jacob Rodriguez, and as always, go Cardinals!